We're joined by the man with the plan for head slams. It's Cody Brundage. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that was crazy. Obviously, you're living under a rock at UFC Austin. Cody Brundage was one of the two fighters to have a head slam KO in the octagon, and not only that, but back-to-back head slam KOs. Just sort of obviously you got the performance bonus. Congratulations on that. Just walk me through it, what that moment was like, how that situation came about.
Yeah, it was good, man. I felt like I was doing well in the fight. My main goal for the fight was to be patient and kind of composed. And, he locked in that triangle. It was good on him. Like, he had quicker hips than I thought he would. And, when I picked him up, I thought he would bail. Like, I thought he would just let go. When he held on, I was like, all right, I guess I've just got to take him through the mat. We'll see. And then I pretty quickly realized that he was hurt. And then I was able to find my hands right after. So, it was good, man. I feel like wasn't much thought. It was just all pretty much reaction, which is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess that does lead me to my next question, because the fight before, Cloche got a head slam as well. So I'm just wondering, were you aware of that in the fight, that there was a head slam KO just in the fight before yours?
Yeah, they played the fights backstage, so I definitely saw it.
Right.
And I remember watching it, and I saw him like he get the finish, obviously, and then he hit him afterwards. I was like, oh, he didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
And then I ended up doing the exact same thing. I was like, oh, I guess he did. Shit.
I guess that the natural question is, it happened once with an armbar and once with a triangle. Is this official proof that jiu-jitsu just doesn't work?
No, jiu-jitsu definitely works. Like I said, it was definitely I started by saying that jiu-jitsu doesn't work. Jiu-jitsu doesn't work.
Yeah.
It was definitely it was crazy because of how rare it is. Typically, the jiu-jitsu techniques are working and they're getting the submissions. And how many times have we seen people try to slam and just put themselves deeper in a choke? So jiu-jitsu is definitely still works. Maybe just if you get lifted above your head, maybe just let them go, or I don't know, maybe it make some amendments.
So I guess I have to ask you got that performance bonus. What are you going to do with that check? You got any plans for it yet?
Well, me and my wife are already kind of trying to find a house like to buy. Right now we rent, so
amazing.
That definitely helps the cause on that. And I'm assuming that's where most of our money will be going, into a house. I don't know if you know about the real estate market too much, but Colorado is pretty crazy, so it'll at least make us a little more competitive for sure.
Bro, I live in Los Angeles. I know very well how tough the real estate market is. Yeah.
The best way to spend your weekend is betting on fighting on Saturday and betting on NFL football on Sunday.
That's facts. And Inside Fighting has partnered up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL, to get you closer to all the action. And right now, new customers who bet just $5 get $150 of bonus bets instantly, just using the promo code INSIDEFIGHTING.
If sports betting is not yet available in your state, not to worry. You can still join in on all the fun with the DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports.
So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code INSIDEFIGHTING. Bet $5, get $150 of bonus bets instantly. That's promo code INSIDEFIGHTING.
I'm sure you've seen the Ian Garry, Sean Strickland stuff that's been going on. Ian Garry, basically finally kind of implied that he'd be willing to fight Strickland. How would Ian Garry do moving up to 185? In a fight against Sean Strickland?
I think so if he moves up to 85, I think he'll do well. He's big. He's 6'3". He's big for the weight class. I think Sean Strickland might be a tough fight for him, just because Sean Strickland's a dirty, grimy fighter, and Ian Garry, tends to want fights to be very pretty.
Right.
So I feel like the fight for him there wouldn't go very well, but the move up the middleweight might be well. But I feel like, what choice does he have? The guy's insulting his wife, and people are like, well, she did this, and they did the Jeff Neal thing. But to me, the whole thing is super corny, man. Like, I don't know. Like, when people's families get brought into it and you're doing things like that, it's just not really my style. I find it to be very icky.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of MMA communities sort of divided on it in some regard, where a lot of it sort of started with fans calling out Ian Garry's wife, and then Strickland, obviously, he piled on and he brought it up on Twitter. So you think that that's crossing a line when you when you make comments like that publicly, especially they're in two different weight classes too, so the likelihood of them fighting each other isn't very high. You just feel like that's not kosher for the fight game?
Yeah, I just feel like, you don't know their relationship. That's the thing. Like, Sean Strickland's trying to give him relationship advice about him and his wife, the mother of his children. Like, maybe just shut the hell up. You don't really know what's going on in that guy's life, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, but you've seen that's kind of Sean's thing. Like, he's going to tell people how they should live and what they should do. And to me, it's super corny because I think Sean Strickland's a really, really, really talented, awesome fighter. And I think he's a total douche. So, you can be both those things. I don't think you should be giving people advice. What are you doing in your life other than being good at fighting that you feel like you can tell people how to live, and so I feel like that's something that's interesting. Like I understand, like I think being good at fighting is awesome, right? It's great. It's my career. It's such a thing that does not translate to the real world at all, right?
Right.
That don't be giving people advice on how to live their life, how to have good relationships, how to treat people. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Nobody probably cares to hear it, but I think it's corny. I think it's goofy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I guess that leads me to, obviously Adesanya was the champion for a long time. What is it? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, or are you indifferent to Sean Strickland being the champion, having a title run where he is the representative of the division, a champion of the UFC?
I mean, I think he's a good champ. I think he's very talented. He's a great fighter. He'll fight anyone. He's not like ducking matchups. He has an entertaining style. He's funny at press conferences, I guess, so there's some things that are good, and the parity of the weight class without Adesanya at the top is different, which is good, fresh and different. So there are definitely good things. I just think, like, be good at fighting, do your fighting thing, but don't do all the other shit.
Right. Fair enough.
You
Last topic. Leon Edwards has said that after he fights Colby Covington, if he wins, he wants to move up to middleweight to challenge. Now, I have to ask because there's been this sort of topic. So this is a two-part question. How do you think Leon would do at middleweight and fighting for the belt at middleweight? And part two, are too many UFC fighters trying to go for immediate double champ status nowadays? Is this just like, do we need more guys just defending within their division rather than trying to move up and challenge for another belt?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, so for the first part, I think Leon will do fine at middleweight. I think he's a super talented fighter. He wouldn't be a very big middleweight, but I think he has the skills to kind of overcome that. Do I think he would beat guys in the top 5? Probably not. Do I think he would be a top 10 guy at middleweight? Yeah. But as far as guys trying to, jump the gun and be double champ super quickly, yeah, it's almost annoying. It's like, it doesn't really make sense. You get guys that really have no business even going up. I don't think, like Aljamain was like, I'm going to go up to 45 and I'm going to be the double champ. And it's like, well, you're not a huge 35er. It's not like you're too big I feel like unless you clean out the weight class, and then also on top of cleaning out the weight class, you are a guy that is too big for the division, right? Then maybe you would go up, right? Like even Izzy, Izzy went and challenged for 205 and he lost. A big part of the reason he lost was because of the size differential, I think. There's weight classes for a reason, right? Like Conor McGregor did it, right? People think because Conor McGregor did it, everyone should do it. Conor McGregor is just like, I think John Jones is one of one as far as talent. Conor McGregor is one of one as far as promotion, building a brand. That's why no one else has ever done what he's done. No one is worth the money he's worth in MMA. And so people try to take that blueprint, which I get. The guy's made a ton of money, but you just don't have the skills to do that. There's a reason that he was so successful. We'd never seen anything like it before, and we've never seen anything like it since, really. So, they let him do that, and everyone's like, now I should do that. And it's like, no, you don't deserve it, and you don't need to. If Leon beats Colby, he'll have defended against Kamaru and defended against Colby. There's still, and it's not like those are the only guys in the division. Honestly, there's probably more worthy contenders than Colby. There's Bilal, who's on a huge win streak. There's guys like that. There's Shavkat, who's undefeated, finished everyone he's fought. He has contenders. It's not a weight class that's run dry of contenders. With Volkanovski, it's interesting because he beat every contender. Now he has a fresh contender, but if he beats him, like, now I get it. But he already lost to go for double champ. With guys that don't have contenders, it makes sense. But 170, there's tons of contenders. 85, tons of contenders. So I don't really. I think it's played out. I think they're not. The UFC is also not going to do it. So I don't get why you would call for it like they call for it. I feel like we're in the UFC. We know what they're going to do. You can cry all day that you want to go up to be a double champ, but unless you really do some astounding, amazing things, it's not going to happen.